They all got action figure treatment.
I would have taken a Janet action figure all day long.
Right. With Kung Fu grip?
I could have provided that. I just needed the action figure.
Put them.
All right, here we are, boys. A little bit in the romantic setting here. Donner, Blitzen,
Raymond.
We are without power tonight. We're potting without power, just like they did back in the late 1800s.
Yeah, when the founding fathers would do a podcast, oftentimes it was by candlelight.
The Jefferson Adams podcast that was so well listened to. So the power is out at the studios, the Deep Dive Studios, and so we're potting off battery.
Potting nonetheless.
Yeah, we're
playing through adversity.
We've got it's like a Susie and the Banshees video in here with candlelight. So anyway, well, boys, we had a Thanksgiving. We've had a big Hawkeye win. You guys did a little Deadwood action, I think, after the Hawkeye game, didn't you?
Yeah, John felt it was required of us to go down to the Deadwood and raise a tang bomb or two. So a few of us got together and did that.
One of our listeners, good listener, very active listener, John Langland joined you guys.
He did. Yeah, he was wrapping up a family Thanksgiving over in the Quad Cities.
Yeah.
And caught the message that there was going to be some tang bombs. And yeah, he popped in.
He rushed over.
Was part of the group. And we ended up having, 10 or 12 people that kind of heeded the call and showed up. And John's certainly one of them. And as you mentioned, he is really active on our Facebook page. If you do follow our Facebook page and check out some of the posts and stuff, always check the comments because John does a great job of doing some historical research, finds old newspaper articles. He posted some cool old newspaper ads from John's Grocery on that episode and some other things. So he's a great contributor and is worth following.
He's kind of became a little bit of the show historian. I mean, he adds a lot to that podcast Facebook page.
He does, yeah. It's kind of cool. And he sends messages outside of that as well with some context and some stuff. And he sought out some of the beverages we featured and had that at his family Thanksgiving and sent some pictures of those and stuff. So yeah, he's fun to follow. Like I said, on the Facebook, check the comments all the time because he does add some cool content.
We should get him on the pod.
Anything special? Did they have any like candy corn cornucopia?
I'm glad you asked, Ray, because we missed you.
Okay.
They have something at the Deadwood.
Okay.
That I think you'd really enjoy.
All right.
It's like, it's like a spin-off of the Tang Bomb.
Yeah.
But it's with one of your favorite beverages of all time. It's a Yegg-Nog.
Oh my gosh.
Yegg-Nog.
Yegg-Nog.
And it's as good as it sounds.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Festive.
Yeah.
Nice combination of flavors.
I would think
just really
it would
nice.
be, yeah.
It doesn't go down. It's much more viscous than a Tang Bomb is.
Okay.
But delicious and festive and the right thing for the season.
Yeah, and just to hear Brad describe it, you know how good it is because he's generally anti-dairy based drinks of this sort.
Right.
But yeah, refrigeration, no refrigeration didn't matter to Brad. He
in
was
general, probably cowboys would not like the Yegg-Nog.
But they would never make it in the Old West.
The Old West would never allow for the Yegg-Nog.
No.
Well, I am all in.
Yeah.
I think that sounds amazing.
A new tradition.
Yeah, I'm going to have to give it a try. That does sound great.
We'll have to take a field trip as a group here. Make sure we get that and report back on it.
Yeah.
Speaking of listeners.
Yeah?
Don't we have a gift from a listener?
Oh, yeah. We're going to kick off the show.
Yeah.
With
What do we have here? What's this?
All right. Well, those of you that listened to our shot episode, and those of you that haven't need to go back and listen to it, but we had some Fireball. And Ray, you mentioned the High Holy, in your opinion, of cinnamon-flavored liqueur whiskeys. Only available in Polk County. Prairie Fire, I believe, is the name of the spirit.
Yeah,
and
so I have the bottle right here, Prairie Fire, cinnamon-flavored schnapps. Yeah.
And we've talked about our listening audience spans all corners of the globe, and not the least of which is Des Moines. And one of our listeners, Angie Leibfried, who happens to be my sister-in-law, brought that over to our family Thanksgiving with a little inscription on it for Ray from Des Moines. So we have the real deal from Polk County.
Well, thank you very much. This is bottled by Iowa Distillation Company in Cumming, Iowa. Prairie Fire. I think you guys will find this quite enjoyable. And thank you so much. This is delicious. All right, boys, let's take a little taste of this and see what's what.
And by little taste, Ray says that he poured a Brad Dunlap version of this.
Right.
Because I think I offered shot glasses, but he went ahead and just got out like a tumbler.
Right.
So
it's a single finger.
Yeah. Cheers, boys. Happy
Cheers.
holidays.
Cheers.
Thanks, Ange. That is really good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think this is superior to Hot Damn. I'm sorry. I think that's a superior drink.
I would totally agree. I would say that for some reason Fireball doesn't hit the same way that Big Red Gum did. That does. I feel like I chewed all 5 pieces at once, and that was it.
Yeah. It's like they just melted down some Big Red and added some hooch to it and called it good.
I like stuff like that where they can just get into Polk County. That's it. I like when you have to kind of seek stuff out. You have to kind of go after it.
You got to know.
Well done, Ray. Good call.
Yeah.
It was as good as advertised.
Thank you.
Delicious. John, you said that you took a trip down by John's Grocery, and a lot of the wines, spirits, and beers that we talked about in our last show, or John's pairing show, actually sold out.
I mentioned the turkey pickup, which we had last week. Took the family, the kids all down. We picked up the turkey on a farm south of Iowa City. Stopped at John's on the way back through town, and the shelves that housed the wines that we featured on the show last week were all sold out. So, but fear not, they had other great Pinots and Cabs and things. We picked up a couple, and then we also made a Thanksgiving morning run down there. Me and my brother-in-law, Dan, went down to get some last-minute things and a couple extra bottles of wine just to make sure we were well-stocked, and they were doing a healthy business. It was very crowded, which was great to see. Yeah, so we picked up a couple more last-minute things there.
Good job, deep divers. Listening with both ears. We're very proud of you. Hey, let there be light. We are fully powered.
How about that?
Right. We are charged up. We are on Edison time now.
Yeah. It's a little too bright.
Yeah.
I was digging that.
All right. So, hey, here we are. It's we're coming up on holidays, and this podcast, we're going to take a deep dive into the Christmas catalog. The first mail order catalog was released by Aaron Montgomery Ward in 1872, but the first dedicated Christmas catalog was released by Sears in 1933. The Christmas catalog was the surest sign that Christmas was coming and an opportunity to let your parents know that you were a good boy or girl. So I collect Christmas catalogs. I have acquired
other things, right?
Amongst other things, yeah. My kids are going to have a great time when I pass on going through all my crap.
Your stuff.
Well, it started off with I found a Christmas catalog that happened from the first year that Star Wars came out, and then I've just kind of acquired them. People have given them to me. I've bought some at antique shops, but they really kind of take you back immediately to your childhood and everything. So, what do you guys remember about Christmas catalogs when you were kids?
I don't remember having a wide array of them. I think in my hometown of Washington, we had a J.C. Penney's on the square, and we would get the Penney's catalog. Yeah. And my two younger brothers and I would, we'd flip through it, look at the things we wanted. Sometimes, at a certain age, you'd look at the things that were kind of appropriate for you, and then you'd also spend a little time in the negligee section. Right. And I remember I had an old JCPenney's catalog. We lived in an old house, 100-year-old house, and it had the floor vents, right? The registers. Yeah. With the metal grating over the top, and I would take that off and keep the JCPenney catalog there. Wow! I mean, not specifically for the lingerie section, more just to hoard it for myself. Right. So this would be like after the season when it was over, like on January 2nd, the catalog went away.
That's how you sorted out which of your friends or dads had subscriptions to Playboy or not. No. If you pulled the radio or rented a sleepover and it was the JCPenney catalog.
That's the best I could do.
Yeah, right.
That's a principal's kid.
Dougie had canceled his subscription to Playboy. Brad did get his hands on it.
Right.
But that is true. I mean,
I used to charge people a nickel to look at it.
Right. Oh, yeah. No doubt. Yeah. Well, there was catalogs that were racier than others. I mean, I think the Penny's catalog was racier than the Montgomery Ward catalog.
Yeah. Well, before we go too far, you mentioned living in an old home. Yeah. And these catalogs, there's a very famous house in Iowa City called the Bloom County House on Summit Street. Yeah. And the floor plans to build that house came from the Sears catalog. Right. Mm-hmm. So, which you could do back, in the day.
Right. So you would get the Sears catalog, and portion of that was like 4 or 5 different houses. Mm-hmm. You would pick the house, and then you would order your house, and then your entire house, lumber down to the last nail, would come in on a railroad car. I think they were cut and assembled out in Indiana, maybe. But it'd come in on a railroad car. They would take it off on a spur, a side spur, and then you would have a lot amount of time to go and get your house. Yeah, you would just kind of pull it off of the railroad car. You wouldn't, but whoever was building it. But yeah, everything in your house was on that railroad car. Yeah, and there was actually... well, there's a lot of Sears houses still in Iowa City. They tore one down in North Liberty. That's where A&B Electric or whatever it is, across from the Lutheran churches. But when they tore it down, I mean, there was kind of a push to try to save the house because it was a Sears floor plan house. So
there's another prefab house. There's like they're called Moffat houses. Do you know about those, Ray?
Yeah, the Moffat houses,
yeah.
John grew up here. He probably knows more about it than...
several Moffat houses still in
and those
the
were
east side
all,
of Iowa
like,
City.
you would order those as well, right? They were kind of like a prefab.
That component, I don't 100% know.
Yeah.
But they were very famous little cottages. They're like little tall house cottages.
Yeah.
And the ones you can still find them around town on the east side, and they're really cool.
There's a whole neighborhood of Moffat houses.
Can you order a house on Amazon now? Would that be? No. I should look that up.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I bet you could.
Well, Brad, you're right. I mean, these catalogs, now these are Christmas catalogs, wish books, things that both entice children and adults alike. But these were really the original Amazons, right?
Just to cut in real quick on the question of could you order a prefab home from Amazon? The answer is yes. Premium prefab homes, luxury modern villas, 1,200 to 5,000 square foot, customizable modern designs, 49,800. You could add it to your cart here. It says free delivery Thursday the 11th. Or fastest delivery December 2 to 3. So if anybody's looking for a quick...
Does it say what the nearest rail spur would be, where that's going to be for us to pick up?
How would you like to... Don't they have like free return at... what's the K's merchandise? Or what's the...
Brad to get the whole thing built and then
I'm
say the
going to freak
bathroom
my
didn't
wife
work.
out. I just added it to my cart. See what she thinks of that.
Perfect. But back to the catalogs, and you were just, I think, alluding to it, Ray. You know, my memory of these is when we were kids. First of all, there absolutely was no smartphones. There was no World Wide Web.
Right.
None of these mediums to like view content, take in content. You sure as heck didn't text message your parents' Christmas lists or anything like that.
Right.
And there weren't 100 channels on the TV either. Like, you got a chance to take in
Home shopping network
advertisements like on your Saturday morning cartoons.
Right.
Yep.
That was about it. Otherwise, Mom and Dad controlled the remote and the 3 channels that it was on. So this was really the medium to do your shopping as a kid. Circle, you know, what you wanted and strategically leave it placed for Mom and Dad to see. And it was a big part of the Christmas scene.
So John was a city mouse and Brad and I were country mice.
Yeah.
And you were kind of a little bit relegated to what store was in your town. So Brad and I both had a JCPenney's. John did too. The way I remember it was these catalogs would be at the customer service desk, and you would go in and ask for one or buy one or get one, depending on how they had it set up. JCPenney, I think the incentive was, this was before everybody had a credit card. You could get a line of credit through JCPenney, and if you were a credit card holder, then you got a free catalog. You just had to go give them this little certificate. 2 doors down, we had a Sears, but it wasn't a full-blown Sears. It was just like you can get washers and dryers and maybe some tools, like very limited. But it was all, if you ordered something in the Sears catalog, they would ship it to that Sears store and you'd go pick it up.
Yeah, and layaway was a big thing, but
pre-credit. Big thing,
I think, I'm pretty sure like my parents would have gone after Thanksgiving, maybe before Thanksgiving, and the hot items put on layaway and get them later in December. I don't know, make your 4-month or weekly payments leading up to it. Yeah.
We had a Montgomery Ward that was a mail order, and it was all tools. And then we had a Gamble's, which had a catalog, and it was really toy-driven, and it was car-driven and everything, but it wasn't anywhere as robust as this. I mean, it was just a place to get toys. Yeah. It just kind of depended on what stores were in your town. Now, that being said, if you were in a small town, almost everybody had the same toys, the same outfits. You know, when Nike came out, you had the white Nike with the red swoosh because that's what JCPenney's had. Right. They didn't have any other colors.
Yeah, for sure.
So, but yeah, it was exciting being a kid and, you know, And plus, on top of that, man, I love a department store. I know that we're talking about catalogs and that, but I loved going into a department store when I was a kid.
Talking about being a city kid, so Cedar Rapids still had the multi-story, like Killian's with the grand elevators or escalators up the middle and all 4 floors. And then what we always spent Thanksgivings at our relatives in Milwaukee, and Black Friday as kids, we would always, and I wish I could go back and watch this now because it had to be such a disaster, but we would all load into my grandfather's RV, drive to downtown Milwaukee, and this is the days when like he had a bubble level. There was no hydraulics, and he would wedge this thing in the middle of downtown Milwaukee till it was level, cockeyed in the street. I'm sure it was just the biggest nuisance. But my grandpa would sit in that RV and watch football all day, and we would go to Grand Avenue Mall in downtown Milwaukee. And as a kid, I mean, you talk about being in the candy store.
That's big time.
We would run the mall. I'll never forget. They had the bank of TVs with like every Atari game. Right. And my cousins and I would just spend hours at the store playing game after game after game. And yeah, it was a great time.
As painful as it is to be in retail now, could you imagine what it was like the 2 weeks prior to Christmas being in retail?
Yeah, it had to be terrible.
You're like, okay, I'm going to set up like 5 Christmas trees today. I need to like get spray frost for the windows. I've got to put up 500 red bows on the top of the
6-inch curls on the ribbons when you're decorating.
So, all right. So books we have today are Montgomery Ward books. We have Sears books. John, what do you have over there?
Well, the first one in my hand is the 1983 Montgomery Ward Wish Book Christmas Catalog. And then I've got Sears as well.
Yeah, Montgomery Ward, Christmas 1978.
So let's go as far back as we can. So do you have 78?
I've got 78.
And I've got a 78 here as well. This one's J.C. Penney 78.
So Brad has the book that started it all off, 1978. The reason that I got that book is for one reason and one reason only. 1978 is when Star Wars toys started showing up in the catalogs. 77, Star Wars was released. George Lucas had a screening with Spielberg and all of his movie dudes, and they watched the rough cut. And it was a pretty rough cut of Star Wars, and everybody came out of it, except for Spielberg. Everybody came out of it, and they're like, I guess I don't see it. And so Lucas was totally deflated. He tried to punch it up at the end, and he did a bunch of miniature or scale versions of the Death Star, the fighter-to-fighter combat, and he really tried to punch it up, and the studio said, you're not going to do it. So I think Spielberg said, we'll use my salary. I'll just take whatever payment I was on merchandising. So they made some arrangement, and Spielberg did with that money what he could. On the release of Star Wars, he was in Hawaii, so he thought it was going to be a flop. And so there was no merchandising whatsoever in 77 for Star Wars. And so Star Wars comes out, and it was a huge smash. Nobody could get enough Darth Vader, Luke Skywalker, Princess Leia, Chewbacca, Han Solo, R2-D2, C-3PO. And when Christmas rolled around, there was nothing in the stores, in the wish book. There was nothing to be had because they thought it was going to be a flop. They had already kind of went on to the next thing. So what you got in 1977 was an empty box that had basically you folded it yourself, and it made like a little stage with a background that looked Star Wars-esque. You could kind of see the Death Star in the background, but it was an empty box, and then you got a certificate for 4 action figures that would come over the next 4 months. So it was like Luke Skywalker, Princess Leia, Chewbacca, and R2-D2. And so that was in 77. So if you got the Christmas catalog, there was nothing in there. 78 was the first year.
I'm on it right now, Ray. I dog-eared this one. And I wasn't huge. My brothers were both big Star Wars fans. I liked it, but I didn't get into like collecting the memorabilia. Like they had the collection. They wanted to get all the figures, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm looking at this page, and I can remember this item number 3 here, which is the Land Speeder.
Right. Land Speeder was a big one.
And that guy went for $4.48.
Right.
Suspension design and spring-loaded wheels transformed this non-flight model into bouncy hovercraft. Yeah. And that was cool. I remember that thing. And then above it is the X-Wing Fighter. That was a little pricier at $8.94.
Right.
Or the TIE Fighter at $8.94 as well. And I recognize these, but what we didn't talk about as we were prepping the show that was a thing in our era and they had item number 11 here on the Star Wars page is actually a Play-Doh mold where you could make your own Chewbacca and Han Solo and different characters in Play-Doh.
Right.
And we didn't have that, but that's pretty cool. This R2-D2 I kind of remember.
And what catalog is that, Ray or Brad, that you have?
This is the 78
Montgomery Ward.
78 Ward.
And I don't want to flex on you.
No. It's a 78 Ward. See it here?
See, I'm sitting here with the 78 J.C. Penney.
Oh, you got the penny?
I too have a Land Cruiser.
What do those go for?
Land Speeder. Well, it goes for $11. You're $10.97, but I have a voice activated. The thing will go forward, backward.
What?
And you hold a little R2D2 microphone and move it. I mean, just a little fancier.
All right.
Okay.
So
that's pennies.
So
that's pennies for you.
Yeah.
So now this is a good distinction. J.C. Penney's was pretty toy focused and clothing focused. Montgomery Ward, Brad, if you want to talk about smoking pipes and tobacco bowls, I think that you probably have more
they've got
options
a lot of,
than J.C. Penney's.
They've got a lot of crock pots, toaster ovens, slicers, dicers.
Oh wait, let's talk about the slicer. Go back to the slicer.
Here we go.
So
wasn't
that amazing that you could get like a restaurant quality meat slicer for your house?
I'm sorry. Do you remember Saturday Night Live, the Super Bass-O-Matic 76?
Yeah.
No more.
That's good bass.
That's
what
good
delicious bass. No more scaling and slicing. Simply put the whole bass in the Super Bass-O-Matic 76. This is the Slice King electric slicer.
Right.
Ward's finest, 5488.
It's all stainless steel. How much do you
78.
think that thing would cost now?
Yeah.
I mean, that is crazy. But yeah, that was like somebody's big gift. Somebody wanted that slicer. They're like, you know what we should do? We should slice our own roast beef.
I mean, look at that.
Yeah.
Cucumbers
Salads.
for dates.
1978 salads.
Yeah.
So
sorry, but we digress from the...
The other thing that, that if you look at Montgomery Ward and Sears, for that matter, you're going to see there's a lot of gun action. Like you can get guns, you can get ammunition. There's a lot of things that Bureau of Tobacco and Firearms would probably not necessarily allow for now. But yeah, you could. J.C. Penney's was really big on toys. They had access to kind of like the high end toys. And if you had a J.C. Penney's in town, you were probably going to get a little bit cooler toys than. Brad, if you get back towards the Star Wars stuff again.
Yep.
That Death Star, I'd like to know how much that is.
Oh, sure.
So,
boy.
The Death Star was my big Christmas gift.
Okay.
My dad, who both my parents were blue-collar, working-class people, and I got the Death Star that year, and I will tell you, when I went back to school and after the break and said I got the Death Star,
I
was absolutely
you had a
the
line
coolest.
out the door.
Oh, man. I had kids wanting to spend
People
the night at
wanted to
my
check it out.
house. Yeah. The funny part about it was that winter.
Here it is.
How much is that thing? That had to set my parents back a big chunk, man. That was like the best thing that you could get.
Death Star Space Station.
Yeah.
That went for 1888.
Yeah. That was a big...
that was a layaway for sure.
Yeah, that was definitely a layaway. Yeah. That was huge. But the funny thing was, there was a huge snowstorm that year. Forecasting got good enough that they said, hey, listen, a big snowstorm's coming. And so that night we went to my grandparents' house. Both sets of grandparents were in Ottumwa. And we did indeed get snowed in. And when we woke up, Santa Claus came to my grandma Poole's house.
Wow.
Just like he would have
Got
came
redirected,
to Center.
yeah.
Yeah, he figured it out. And but at Grandma Poole's, there was a couple bottles of wine, and maybe only third to maybe half of the stickers were put on the Death Star. The left of them was
incomplete project.
It was left for me to put.
Yeah.
It was,
it's good enough.
Yeah. I think Santa got a little bit sleepy.
That's good.
The other thing, John, I think you've got them in yours too. Sears was really known for their racetracks, their electric slot car racetracks.
Nope, sorry about that. Yeah, there's quite a few of those in here. Always a fun gift. It was always impossible to keep the cars on the track.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah. There would be a kid's dad who was like really into slot cars when he was a kid. So, that kid would not only get a racetrack, but he would also get like the wheels that would stay on the racetrack, and the top of the car would look like your car, but the bottom of the car, the electric part of it would be much faster because his dad knew some guy out in Chino, California that like hand built slot cars.
That dad.
I don't see it in here. The first thing I did when I opened this book was I got to these Matchbox Race and Chase setups, right? With
there you go.
The whole right here. And this one here is 2488, and it's for the Matchbox cars. And we had a few of those, the Dunlaps.
I'm sure it drove our parents crazy because you get that, and it assembles a certain way.
Yeah.
With guardrails, and I don't know what you guys do. The first thing we would do is start assembling
Make
one long stretch, get all the encyclopedias out, make a ramp, and then try to jump the cars into the tree.
Take it down the stairs, whatever.
Just had to
So the gift you got kind of depended on whether or not you had sibs and whether your sib was the same sex as you. Yeah. I'm sure the Dunlap kids got a bunch of all-together gifts. Like there were how many of you?
Three boys.
Three boys.
Yeah.
So did anybody ever get you boxing gloves?
Oh yeah. Well, that was the other thing. That was the other thing that I dog-eared here is the Rock'em Sock'em robots. Not the same thing, but yes. I mean, we got those inflatable things and just threw haymakers all day at each other. Right. You know.
So we
but
had
the Rock'em Sock'ems were pretty awesome.
Oh, those were awesome. We had my Uncle Rob, who was notorious for getting my cousin and I these gifts. And in hindsight, as we got older, we realized that he just wanted to create mayhem.
Yes.
One year, he got us the inflatable boxing gloves, and it just turned into like a bloodbath. And I'm sure just to his amusement. One year, he got us these little red, like 3-foot-long skis. My grandparents lived on top of a hill overlooking the Iowa River.
What could go wrong?
He just took us out, strapped him on us, and watched us try to survive. And then the final one was the last year. He got us these inflatable tube sleds. Took us to a nearby hill and just sent us sailing into the woods. It just had to be high comedy for him.
Right. Having skied with you, that explains a little bit.
Yeah, right. Exactly. It's ski or die.
Right. Ski party.
Uncles were the best. But
Uncle Dean.
Yeah, my Uncle Chris, he's the one that got my brother and I boxing gloves.
Yeah. My Uncle Dean, the thing that I would put on the list that I knew there was no way in hell my parents would give me, if my Uncle Dean saw that list, that's what he would go get.
Right.
You know, like he bought me, and this won't surprise anyone, I'm not a super mechanical guy.
Yeah.
Right. And so I wanted so badly. Do you remember the remote control kind of plane gas power?
Yes.
He gets us. And my dad's like, no, you don't want that. And my Uncle Dean got me that.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And we spent, I don't know how many hours. We never got the thing off. Never got it off the ground. Right. But he was just the uncle that would do the thing. Like I also wanted, this was a little bit later, but do you remember when like hip hop was becoming a thing and people wanted not the sweatsuit, but like the Adidas top and bottom that matched?
The
that was like, that was the fabric that wasn't cottony. It was more like the thin
nylon.
The nylon.
Yes.
Thin.
Oh yes.
My parents were like, there is no way we're paying that for a sweatsuit. You know, Uncle Dean freaking came through.
So I'm going to hold up this page while we're on this topic. We marked pages in these catalogs. I've got the nylon sweatsuit page marked. Yeah, we'll get to the NFL in a sec. But the nylon sweatsuit, for years, there was a debate amongst all the cousins. If my grandma, God rest her soul, she gave us all wonderful gifts, but there would always seem to be a little confusion. One year, my cousin, Johnny Mike, wanted a nylon Nike zoot suit, right? And he's the only one of us that asked for it, wanted it. It wasn't on anyone else's radar. Christmas morning, we're opening the gifts from Grandma and Grandpa, and me and my other 3 cousins open ours, and we get these, super loud, early 80s nylon tracksuits. Johnny Mike is just excited.
Yeah, can't wait for
Tears into his box, and it is the most hideous sweater you've ever It was right out of a Christmas movie.
And
it was
tried to be like,
unbelievable. And it was like, how could you did you get it wrong or intentionally we never did figure it out, but it was a great moment on Christmas morning.
Yeah. All right. So
yes, what do you got, Ray?
I think we need to point out to everybody that's not a Gen Xer, which Gen X is the greatest generation. I know they say that about the World War II generation. But I'm looking at a Montgomery Ward catalog here from 1978. I'm looking at 8 pages of pajamas. Mm-hmm. Of the 8 pages, there are 4 pages. So half of the pages say everything on these 2 pages are flame-resistant nightwear, which means the other 4 pages are not flame-resistant nightwear.
Right. Well, a lot of kids back then would go to bed with a cigarette lit. Right. So you wanted to know
everything
that you
in
had
the
right.
70s, the nylon back there was all petroleum-based. You were one static electricity shock away from going up in flames. Like if you had a really super dry house. Woof.
I think we talked in episode 1 about fables of yesteryear, like quicksand,
right?
Bermuda Triangle, and going up and smoke sleeping would have been another one of those things, right? To your point, I think we all were required to sleep in flame retardant pajamas.
Yeah.
Was there ever a kid in your hometown that did not have those and went up in flames? If you had the means, you had flame retardant pajamas.
The other thing that Sears did really well, and JCPenney too, was I'm looking at a clarinet here. Oh. So they had musical instruments: a clarinet, trombone, saxophone, flute, trumpet. In 1992, so this isn't too terribly far away. A flute pitched in the key of C was $159, or you could get a soprano sax with drop forged keys for $479. So you got to know that some kid that had, probably a dentist kid, who had started playing in junior high band that year, that started off with kind of a crappy trombone,
like the Sears one.
Yeah, and their parents were like, well, not even a Sears one, probably like borrowed or something, and then their parents like, he seems to like the trombone, and then the kid's like big Christmas gift is a trombone.
From
the
Sears catalog you're holding.
Right. Yeah. Probably not his favorite gift.
That was the same dad that gave out the toothbrush at Halloween.
Right. Oh, a trombone.
Well, when you went into the flame retardant pajama, I thought you were pointing at the catalog I have open to the NFL section.
Right.
And I thought we were going to get into it because the various NFL merched products of the 70s and early 80s. I, as a child in the 70s, I lived in Dallas, and you used to be able to, I don't see it in this catalog, but you could get the football uniforms, like a plastic helmet, lightweight shoulder pads, a jersey.
Yes.
And I'll never forget Christmas morning that one particular year. Everyone on our block got a Dallas Cowboys uniform. And it was
team.
Always the one. Yeah, of course. And we lived a stone's throw from the stadium.
Yeah.
But one kid, the contrary, got this Los Angeles Rams or St. Louis Rams.
St. Louis Rams.
In those days, right? Because he thought it was super cool. We gathered out to play football that morning, Christmas Day.
26 versus 1.
And Craig Davis ended up in the ER with a broken arm. I mean, it meant something more in the South even back then, because that Rams uniform was not getting by on our block.
He's lucky he didn't get a Redskins jersey. That would have not went over well.
Right.
The older catalogs, it's kind of interesting how the NFL developed. The much earlier catalogs from 60s and 70s, the NFL hadn't necessarily gotten itself 100% squared away with the teams, realizing that somebody from Green Bay would buy a Cowboys shirt, is all. Mm-hmm. So if you're going to get a Green Bay thing, most everybody's going to get it there in Green Bay. And so if you look at some of the bedding and some of in the middle part of the magazine, they would just have silver and white bedspreads, silver and white lights next to the bed, silver and white trash cans, and you could get that for a Dallas Cowboy kid, or you could get it for a Lions kid. Mm-hmm. It kind of And then somewhere along the line, the NFL is like, you know what, we need to start branding some of these and making a little cash off it, and that's when you get the.
Did you get the NFL sheets?
That just said NFL and had
it had all the teams.
Yeah,
it had all the teams in the different fonts.
I did have that.
And you get the little matching window curtain,
right?
No
pillowcases, sheets. You didn't have those?
I did have that. Yeah, and that goes.
They were flame retardant, which is probably why you didn't have them.
Right, my parents. Yeah.
The Dunlaps only used cotton.
You're going to sleep in petroleum-based generic sheets that say hockey, and you're going to like it.
So the other thing I'm looking at here is, John, I think that you have said before, the most disappointing toy you could get as a child. Like, you were super jacked up, circled every time you circled it, you wanted it, and then when you got it, the payoff was terribly disappointing.
The electric football.
The electric football game.
Oh, man. And you'd get it all set up, and you'd get the different teams and line them all up, ready to roll.
Right.
Flip that switch on.
Yep.
And Earl Campbell's like doing circles 20 yards behind the line. So nothing's happening.
Right.
Yeah.
It has two of the most exciting words, electric and football. You would just think, man, how can we go wrong with this?
I know.
And then you turn it on, you're like, oh, boy, this kind of...
And you get like the Super Bowl edition that had the stands and the scoreboard and all the different teams. And then you had that crappy plastic guy with the foam ball for a pass. Like, the passing game was worse than the Hawkeyes. It was like you couldn't complete a pass with that to save your life.
Right.
Yeah, that was always a letdown.
Well, I just found something that we loved, the Dunlap boys played with all the time. And this was like
stick?
yarn. No, these little Mattel, I don't know what you call them, like a handhold, almost like a Game Boy, like the predecessor to the Game Boy.
Absolutely.
And it had like, what's it have here? 6 buttons, up, down, like, and I remember that I could hear the tone in my head.
Well, I can tell you that the one I'm looking at from here, that's version 2 with like a full Coliseum stadium around.
Kinda, yes.
The original didn't have that fancy stadium, but yeah, those were great.
Yeah,
your little red blip,
amazing. Mattel Electronics Pocket Electronic games. They were $20, and we thought, oh wow, that was like high tech, right? Because it had this little digital readout, and then this thing here, the APF 4-player color TV game. It was basically like Pong.
Yeah.
It looks like an early Atari.
Yeah.
But it's just green screen with like super simple.
What year is that?
I'm back to the 78 Monkey Ward.
Right. So that would have been probably Atari, probably still would have put that out, but it wasn't branded Atari at that time. And
maybe
a lot of people had Montgomery Ward, Radio Shack, Pennies. A lot of those people had gaming systems. They were out there. It wasn't until Atari came out and kind of said, all right, we're going to be the gaming system, that all of that kind of went away, because that's when they stopped branding out to all of the catalogs, all the companies. So
well, we
going through the
talked
70s.
At the beginning of the show about the catalog being a real primary means. You just mentioned Radio Shack. The one advertising campaign of like the 70s, early 80s that you tuned into as a kid was those Radio Shack Christmas ads.
Yeah.
That ran, and they would catch you on Saturday mornings or any programming you might be tuned into, picking the electronics and all those things. But man, you didn't miss those ads and took note of everything on them. My good friend, neighbor Todd Haig, I'll never forget when we were like maybe 12 years old. He and his siblings pooled their money together and got their dad a smokeless ashtray out of one of these catalogs. And Christmas morning, their dad announced to the family his gift to the family was he quit smoking. Fantastic. And then, and 10 minutes later, he gets the smokeless ashtray.
Did you make ashtrays in school?
Oh, yeah.
So we made ashtrays in school where you would take your school photograph and you would put it under glass, and then you would have like a felt bottom to it, and it'd be like this glass ashtray that, like, apparently you were saying to your family, "We're just put your butts out on my face."
Right.
Did you guys have those same things?
Oh, yeah.
That was a
standard thing.
Standard
just like
craft.
we saw it in the catalog before. I made this in shop class, but it's available in the 1978 Montgomery Ward Christmas catalog. A Budweiser beer can with a bulb on top, like a red bulb on top, like a lamp, like basically a table lamp, a nightstand lamp, which is a beer can with a bulb coming out of it.
Which was perfectly acceptable to bring to school in 8th grade. A beer can to make a lamp in shop class. So
Right.
Absolutely.
If you didn't have a head shop, like a place you could get weed in your town, or lava lamps, you could get it through the catalog.
Right.
No, I do distinctly remember that. Like from 4th to 6th grade, if you were in a art class, which most kids were art once or twice a week.
Yeah, art.
The art teacher
And
would
home
ramp
ec.
up. Yeah, home
And
ec.
shop class. We all had them. I had to take them all.
So you would do something in art that would be maybe like clay pot, pinch pots or whatever to put rings in, and then home ec you were weaving oven mitts or little
the pads, the little hot pads. Yeah.
And then if you were in shop class, you like made something, I don't know.
Well, you made a Iowa shaped or pig shaped cutting board. I think everyone had to do that.
Right.
But yeah, some really nice stuff in here.
So the way these are laid out here is, like I said, that all the adult stuff is kind of in the front, and the kids stuff is in the back, and then in between the middle of it. Brad, what do you have? Do you have a Montgomery Ward?
Yeah, I've got the Montgomery Ward right here.
Do you
Stretch Armstrong right now I'm looking at. That was pretty cool. I never got one, but mine, the Horrocks down the street, they had one. We used to throw that thing around the yard like nothing. Sorry, Ray, what were you asking me?
Well, maybe I have it. I'm not sure, but Montgomery Ward was pretty famous for like their guns.
Yeah. There's a musical instrument section, and then there's the appliances.
I will tell you, I've got a Sears going on here.
The lava lamps.
Right.
I'd really like one of those right now. My basement.
This is kind of interesting. So here's a snowblower from Sears. It's a 3 horsepower snowblower, or they refer snow thrower. Yeah. $394.
Sears snowblower. I think that was one of the earliest ones my dad had.
My guess is the quality of it was probably much better back then for $394, but I think you can probably still get one for right around. Oh, now what year is this? 1992. So I have a more recent one. But there's treadmills. Yeah, there's a lot of healthy stuff going on here. There's step workouts. So yeah, this was during the health craze.
Well, this one has the 78 edition has this. I don't even know what you call this exactly. Belt massager.
Right.
You stand on it, you strap that thing around you, and it kind of jiggles the fat off or something.
Right. Yeah.
Those things are. You don't see those anymore.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure.
There's a sauna, like an individual.
Yeah, a step-in sauna. Like a mommy's going to go in and have a little wine inside this steam room thing.
Where's the guns?
There it is, guys. The number 11 Dallas Cowboys
uniform. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just a classic.
Exactly.
Yeah, keep it simple.
It was either 11 or 33. Everyone on the block had 11 or 33. Danny White or Tony Dorsett.
Yep.
And then Craig showed up in that freaking Rams get up.
Yeah.
And he had to go to the hospital.
He got taken care of.
Did any of you guys have metal detectors?
Oh, that was a big gift. I remember my cousin and I got those, and then promptly went to City Park in Iowa City and walked around in the snow thinking we were going to find our fortune.
Right.
Didn't really come up with much. But
you're just one beep away from finding a diamond ring.
Exactly. Here's one thing that's gotten cheaper over time, guys. Flat screen, like televisions.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of things that have gotten cheaper.
Right.
As with the passage of time, but I can tell you, looking here.
And the dimensions. What's the size on those screens?
No, I'm giving you another thing.
Oh, are you? Okay.
I'm just saying, smoke alarm.
Oh, yeah.
Back in '78, you had to pay $14 for a smoke alarm. I think you can get them online for less than that. Or maybe I'm not getting the.
You can, but did you buy it?
No.
I know my parents. They invested
in
flame retardant pajamas.
We didn't have the flame retardant.
Alarm.
We didn't. Yeah. No, we had a raging fire every night, and we just left it going.
Yeah, right. Why buy a smoke alarm? No, I thought you were talking about the TVs though, but like the console TVs, a whopping 25-inch TV for $600.
Right, are these the armaments you want to look at? The muzzle loaders?
Yeah, muzzle loaders. Yeah. What do you mean? Is that the armaments? Yeah, look at all of that weaponry
right here. Kentucky rifles.
Right.
Mountain rifle, Hawken muzzle loader.
Some of them you had to assemble yourself.
Pistol kit.
And they came with like targets and like targets of people, like to shoot at like
Right.
images of people.
Right.
It's amazing that they sold that stuff. And they're in like right next to the toy side. So they're marketing for the kids.
Yeah. Look at how many guns you could buy from Montgomery
I actually
Ward.
kind of forgot about the unisuit
snowmobile unisuits. Oh yeah.
People used to go out and scoop their walks in these things.
Right.
What were you wearing to scoop your walk this morning? You don't have a unisuit?
I know. If
Everybody's doing it.
If I had one, I would have had it on.
All right, so this is a little bit out of our generation. I'm looking at the 1992 wish book. So,
okay.
But these were the games from 1992. So it was Songburst, Scattergories, Twister, Rock'em Sock'em Boxing, Home Alone, Times Remembered, and Dear Abby. I'm not seeing. I wonder when Trivial Pursuit came out.
I think that was 85.
So yeah, it had been out for a while. But I will tell you what this does have. It has handheld games, video games. So it has handheld Sega, handheld Atari.
Yeah.
I mean, it has the Game Boy in it. Yeah. So it has Game Boy 92. So Game Boy. So a Nintendo Game Boy was $80. Home Alone, it appears, captured the nation, and Top Gun, because there's a lot of stuff in here. The other thing in 92, so the home gaming systems is Sega Genesis and Super Nintendo.
Just quickly while you're doing that, the audio equipment here in the 78. I do remember this because I dog-eared this page because I asked for, and I did get it eventually, a all-in-one stereo system that had like the AM/FM radio, the 8-track player.
Oh, sure.
And the LP and cassette, right? So you had you had everything, everything you would need. That's pretty cool. But then things got a little bit on this. Like flip it to one page, and you have early boom boxes in 78, which was such a thing. Like people wanted the big as speaker.
Yes,
and
carried on your shoulder.
Then they kind of got a little bit smaller too. Then like it was like the boom boxes got a little smaller, and then you went to the Walkman, right? So you could just have this little in the ear carry around. It's not such a show thing.
Yep.
But man, being on the bus going to a track meet or
the Walkman
whatever
was
it would
such a monumental introduction.
It was a game changer.
It was huge.
Yeah, it was an absolute game changer because you could kind of listen. You could make a mixtape. I mean, you had Casey Kasem's top 40.
Oh.
It was a game changer.
Well, and you were no longer beholden to the parents' radio selection on a road trip.
Right.
You had the freedom, and then put whatever you want on, and just have them yell at you because it was too loud and they could hear it from their earphones.
My parents' like cassette collection was about 5 deep, right? So you just it just drove you. You know,
so
there are songs that I hear that remind me of road trips where I just heard Styx 1,000 times or whatever it was.
Yes.
You know,
once you could get Sugar Hill Gang on your own in your cassette and listen to that on a loop for like 4 hours, then you're in business. But going through these catalogs, there's all kinds of like I'd call them like the educational gifts, the science kits, the microscope, the chemistry kit. Did you ever get gifted those? I mean, they were never on the things you asked for.
I really did not. I don't remember having anything like scientific like that. No.
See, I remember I got the microscope, but the chemistry kit.
Yeah.
Which in hindsight's unbelievable what they would sell.
Chemicals.
The chemicals that came in it.
Right.
Yeah.
And because I remember you go out and you'd create green bubbling liquids and like fry ants and stuff.
I think they had a package where if you got that, didn't you automatically get the flame retardant pajamas?
Goggles not included on the kit. Right.
And you know that there was some serious bases and acids in some of those things. It's like, you're like, I wonder what this tastes like in Coke.
Yeah. All these things you look back and think like maybe the method to our parents' madness. And I remember the one year me and all my cousins got hiking boots. And what a genius gift.
That was a thing.
As soon as the thing was done Christmas morning, our parents strapped us into those hiking boots and just go head out to City Park and break them in.
Yeah.
What a great idea for them. We were gone, peace and quiet. They probably enjoyed eggnog and bourbon.
Right.
And if they come back, they come back. If not, it's only 30 degrees.
I wonder how many vests and hiking boots John Denver sold.
No.
You know,
it was definitely a thing.
Yeah. Rocky Mountain High, and guitars. Like everybody for a while was going to be the next singer-songwriter.
Oh, yeah. I remember our dad said, these are Vibram Souls. Like, okay, I guess we'll walk for 5 hours, see you for dinner.
All right. So I'm looking at a picture. I'm looking at a 78 JCPenney catalog, a collective beer can display.
Oh, yeah.
Look how happy this kid is. Like, could you imagine starting your kid?
Yeah. Gee, beef. It's
like a beer can display, like just waiting for your dad to like finish off that Billy beer.
The gift that keeps on giving. Son, you hang this on the wall and I'll start filling her up for you.
And it's modular. You can add on to it. It's just not the two that you get. You can always add on. Boy, the Hardy Boys. It had it all. Hardy Boys.
I got a lot of Hardy Boys books as gifts. But I actually didn't complain about those. I was a bit of a Hardy Boys fan back in my youth.
There were worse things that you could get than Hardy Boys stuff.
This is not very Christmassy, but I put a little note on this page because I remember when these were like the thing to have, and like I haven't seen them forever, but I think they should make a comeback, and that's the TV trays.
Oh yeah,
remember?
Yeah.
Remember TV dinners and TV trays? Like you would put
beautiful
this
concept. Yeah.
Why? What's happened to the TV tray?
That's a good point. It's like,
have you seen anybody with a TV tray?
Could you imagine just a TV tray with a Coors Light party ball next to it? I mean,
exactly.
Great products back from yesteryear.
Exactly.
Just a good like banquet hungry man spread.
I mean, these with the scenes too. Mm-hmm. It's almost like a Monet on this thing. It's
very artistic.
Yeah.
And that would just add to your living room. It just enhances the whole ambiance.
Exactly. These are
There were a couple years,
gorgeous.
Maybe 4th, 5th, and 6th grade, you would come back from Christmas break and the teacher would go around the room and kind of ask what everybody got. And, by the time you got back to school, you kind of forgot what you got. Mm-hmm. But there was always the kid that got the unicycle.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I got a unicycle, and every kid was like, what?
My cousin had one, and I was kind of jealous about it.
God, see, these are the moments, right? I don't know what planet I grew up on. All my years, I don't know if I knew a single kid that got a unicycle.
My cousin had one.
It was a small town thing for sure.
Wow.
Yeah.
Look at this here. This should make a comeback, and it would look great here, John, at your place.
That would look great in your office. What are we talking about? Are you kidding?
J.R. Ewing vibe. This is like on a stand with wooden legs, but it's like a giant globe that cuts in half and opens up, and you put your bottles of, this seems to have like Campari and vodka and gin and so forth. It's just like a bar cart that's a globe.
Yeah.
It's educational and refreshing.
I feel like that belongs in an office.
Yeah, it does.
Like a Mad Men vibe, right?
Yeah.
So also coming from the JCPenney catalog, 1978. I assume that this is for bachelor uncles and people that don't have kids. How do you choose a toy for a child you love? JCPenney has service help. So they actually have a phone number you could call you could call into to help you choose a toy. But they also have a step-by-step flow chart on how to choose a toy for a child. A good toy should be enjoyable so the child wants to play with it. It should be safe, well-made, and durable. It should be interesting enough for the child to return to it time and time again. Be usable in a variety of different ways and for a variety of purposes instead of limiting the child to just one kind of play.
Now we're going back to the Saturday Night Live skits. Remember the teddy bear with the chainsaw that Dan Aykroyd had? He was like the executive from the toy company.
Yes.
Was it Martin Short was part of that?
No, it was Candice Bergen and Dan Aykroyd. And Dan Aykroyd's she's like, what is this? This is a box of nails, a box of
broken glass.
Broken glass.
Yeah,
come on.
It was like an old 60-minute spoof.
Oh my God!
A Minkman schnoz. It's a Minkman. Your Minkman schnozes cause rashes. It's a Minkman. Oh yeah, you can get dueling pistols, solid wood pine pistols, and you can get a display cabinet for it. Because why? Oh, it's more than just this is a 38 snub nose. Can you buy that in here? So you can get 22s. Yeah, going along with your chemistry kits and stuff like that. The speak and spells, kind of the educational stuff.
Oh yeah.
Torque wrench. How much do you think a torque wrench went for back in 1978?
You'd have to ask Becky.
I was going to say.
I don't have a torque wrench.
So this is a JCPenney torque wrench, not a Sears torque wrench, but a JCPenney's torque wrench went for $29.99.
What gauge?
Was that a left-handed one? Or?
It was a...
I'm just going to say, and I challenge you to, you're looking at two. I'm looking at a 78 and 83. Every page that has NFL merch, there's like one blown-up image and like a dozen tiny images, and every single one of the blown up images, Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah.
America's team.
They were America's team.
They are America's team.
I'm sorry. They are America's team.
I'm just going to put that in there.
My daughter still, she's not really a big football person or NFL person, but she was rocking her Cowboys gear
Dallas
today.
Cowboys stuff today.
Yeah.
Again, Brad's got it open.
To your point.
There's the Dallas Cowboy helmet.
Very much so.
Alarm clock.
Yeah. I remember those little action figures too. I think you said this, John. You had Pittsburgh Steelers ones. I did too, but they had Cowboys.
Well, clarify.
Cowboys and Steelers were a deal.
I had a bunch of Cowboys and a handful of Steelers that I promptly ripped the labels off to make Iowa Hawkeyes.
Yeah, you made them. Yes. Yeah.
But yeah, the Cowboys were undefeated in my basement with those things.
Oh, that was another thing I dog-eared. Did you guys get or want a skateboard like
I
this?
did. Do you remember there was a shark-shaped skateboard? It was like a plastic with a sticky top. It was kind of a weird shape, but that's the one I got.
I got this more traditional that
yeah.
yellow.
Well, we had some of those.
Just
the
the
fin.
Mine, I think mine might have been blue.
Yes.
But yeah, that was a thing, but it didn't. I didn't really. I gave it a go with one summer, and then it kind of.
And the first crack you hit in the sidewalk, you're like sprinting to try to keep from falling down.
Yeah.
So when you were a boy, size 8 to 22, did you want a 3-piece vested suit from European styling?
Well, as I talked about in an earlier pod, yeah, because I think it was like 8, 9 years old, we started snagging Lowenbrows out of the pants, right? So.
Exactly. Well, only with the nines.
This kid's got a serious meeting in the morning. He doesn't have time for basketball practice. I will say something else. From 1978, there were a lot of turtleneck selections.
Oh, yeah.
There were so many turtleneck selections.
Well, surely you have a Sears or a JCPenney photo shoot in a turtleneck.
You guys go ahead with that. I'll be just a minute here.
Brad appears to be at the very front of one of the catalogs.
No, these are very nice, flowy, drapey.
It looks like maybe with Blair from
Could
Facts
you give us
of
a
Life.
description? Like, read one of the descriptions. I think that's
yeah.
Let me see. Did I hand you the one? Because one is definitely more risque than the others. I've got a
these are all definitely PG-13. I mean, soft to the touch tops and spun polyester.
Well, you're on sweaters, Brad.
I know. I was kind of joking, but now you're putting me on the
Are you afraid
spot.
Doug's going to get mad at you?
No. I just.
There's not going to be any spankings or groundings here. Come on, get into the good stuff.
Can we turn the lights back off?
Yeah, if you wouldn't mind.
Get the nylon out.
Yeah, man. What happened here? I thought there was. This is more outerwear. Anyway, you guys carry on. I'll just.
We need to get a girl on the pod because my guess is
shimmery leotard.
the girls didn't necessarily spend as much time with the men's sleepwear as the men spent with the women's sleepwear. Some of the sleepwear in that catalog looks like they're business suits.
Yeah,
or maybe
very much.
Maybe the business is finding a husband.
Very.
Yeah,
No, this isn't JCPenney. Monkey Ward's was a little more covered up.
Yeah, Montgomery Ward's definitely did not have like the super.
They were better for the guns and the
right. The other thing I got in the
tools.
Montgomery Wards was the CBs. We were a CB family.
I just went through that whole section. Yeah.
Right. We had I think a CB in the car, and we also had a CB for the house. And neither of my parents had a CDL license or drove semi.
Right. They just wanted to be able to.
They wanted to be part. It was like the early social network, right? Because how people communicated, and it was.
Do you remember their handles?
My dad was Burrhead.
Burrhead.
Yeah. I think
we had a kid in high school we called Burrhead.
Yeah. And I don't know what my mom's handle was, but I want to say like Mama Bear or something like that.
Yeah.
But it was, but you know, and there's like 20 different Mama Bears out there.
Right.
But it was, you know, not many Burrheads, but yeah, that whole
Scott Coleman.
The late 70s, there were songs. There were like, was it C.J. McCall? I mean, there was more than one.
It was the glory era of trucking.
Right.
Yeah. I remember having an entire album of like
multiple
trucker tunes. With Convoy and Teddy Bear. Do you remember that song?
Right. There was enough for
Oh, that's a tearjerker.
Yeah, he was gonna be.
Was that Elvis? That wasn't Elvis, was it?
No, but he did have a teddy bear. So I think the trucker wasn't gonna make it home for Christmas morning.
Oh, yeah.
But and he was talking.
I think the trucker, the kid's dad, was perished, right? And then all those truckers lined up to take Teddy Bear for a ride. Yeah, it was a tearjerker. But that was the glory years, CBing and truck driving. Remember Eager Beaver from the Smokey and the Bandit? The one female trucker, her call sign was Eager
Beaver.
Nothing subtle about that. Bandit pulled right into that rocking chair.
Right.
Is the CB segment the same segment that has weather stations? Like, did your parents care a lot about picking up barometric pressures and understanding, you know, the weather situation and staying on top of that at all times?
They did, but ours wasn't. I think my grandpa was a Navy guy, and weather was definitely important to him.
Yeah.
And he had this thing on his desk that was like I guess the indoor temperature, which doesn't matter. But then it had a barometric pressure gauge, and then it had something else. So, but my parents, who were, you know, they were in their 20s, in the mid 70s.
Yeah.
Their barometric pressure were like these little blue liquid dyed things that once they would get so far down in the other liquid dyed thing that was like.
Yeah.
So you had to know, basically, if you went to bed and one of the glass liquid dyed things were at the top, and you woke up in the morning and the liquid dyed thing was at the bottom, it was going to rain. You just kind of had to like keep that piece of paper that came along with all the not toys, but the gift.
I think my grandpa was a Navy man and a pilot. I think he had the exact same little weather station, temperature, barometric pressure. But one thing that I think it's really a dying breed, but had a real popularity not even that long ago, was ham radio.
Oh yeah.
And I've alluded to before, I spent some time in law enforcement. One of the craziest calls I ever had in my 20 years in law enforcement. A family called us one night and said that they thought their daughter was possessed. Their like 12-year-old daughter.
Right.
She was hearing voices and they were super. So we go to this house in the middle of the night and this girl is insisting she's hearing stuff in her. Yeah. She had just gotten braces.
Yankee Hotel and Foxtrot.
She had just gotten braces and the house behind him had like a 20-foot ham radio tower.
Get out of here.
She was getting some reverberated like
right
stuff from that ham radio in her braces.
It
was the craziest thing ever. But
how did you determine that?
Yeah, so we were listening to her and the whole story, and the guy I was riding with is like, "Oh, sounds like the ham radio operator is the voices she's hearing." And
it was close enough to her ear canal.
I don't know what it was, but we went outside and we saw this massive tower. Like it looked like it was in their backyard. And we went and there was a guy at 3 a.m. talking to people in Taiwan on a ham radio behind the house. It was really, really wild.
Wow.
Yeah, she could hear it. Nobody else could, and it was close enough to her ear drum that she was picking it up, and nobody else was. I think there was a very special Gilligan's Island that was like that too, where it was coming in off of filling, and they had to have Gilligan open his mouth and turn a certain direction to see if they were going to be saved or not.
And Gilligan blew it.
Who are the Globetrotters?
Well, do we want to go through some of like the top red hot gifts of each year through the decade?
I like it, John. Let's see what the best Christmas gifts by decade.
I've got what looks like a pretty good list. I mean, it goes by year. We could go fast or skip over some of the highlights. This is an unofficial speedrun because I'll just go through these very fast from basically our era. 1970, number one toy, Nerf football. 71, I don't know what Space Hopper is, but Weebles and Etch-a-Sketch were 2 and 3.
Weebles wobble, but they don't fall down.
Nope.
Number one selling toy in 1972 is a skateboard, followed by Uno and the Easy Bake Oven.
Mm-hmm. Uno.
73, 1973, the Evel Knievel stunt cycle, which we logged time with the Evel Knievel.
Dunlap Boys destroyed that thing.
Just on a side note, if you put a cake in the Easy Bake Oven in 1972, it will be done in about 3 months.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah, if you put your turkey in that, you're going to be waiting a while. 1974, we talked about this earlier, the Rock'em Sock'em Robots.
Love it.
Right.
Also appearing on that list was a Magic 8-Ball, which was a fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
That was.
Yep.
That's how Carter got through his administration. Was the Magic 8-Ball.
Exactly.
All right.
75, the Pet Rock, which is a legendary toy, non-toy, whatever you want to call it. And all the things appearing on that list were Pong, the first video game, and Monopoly. 1976, a Cher doll was the number one selling toy.
I've got a different list.
Sonny and Cher show would have been at the height of its.
Stretch Armstrong was 76 on the.
Okay, he appears on the 1977 list on mine, along with Star Wars action figures and the Atari 2600.
There you go.
78, I've got Hungry Hungry Hippo and Simon Says.
Simon Says was big in our house too.
79, Strawberry Shortcake and the Millennium Falcon, and number 3 on that list was Sony Walkman.
Yeah.
And then 80 begins a long run of Rubik's Cube appearing on lists. The Rubik's Cube in 1980. 81, Star Wars AT-AT, and a Light Bright, which was, I think every kid had a Light Bright at some point. Mm-hmm. 82 was the G.I. Joe. 83, Care Bears, and the Cabbage Patch Doll made its first appearance.
Yeah.
84 was the Cabbage Patch Doll again. 85 was Teddy Ruxpin, which again, I had no idea that was a thing in the 80s. 86 was Laser Tag and My Pet Monster.
Yeah.
87, Koosh Ball. 88 was a Ghostbusters Proton Pack and NES action set. 89 was the Batmobile and the Talking Elf. And then we get into the 90s, which is a little bit past our time, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
So I think, I mean, this is just from my limited knowledge, that the Cabbage Patch Kid is where everything went apeshit. It was that winter was, I don't remember Black Fridays before that or people going crazy. Mm-hmm. My grandma worked at a Kmart. And when the Cabbage Patch Kid dropped, so if you look at each one of these things, you can, Words, Sears, JCPenney's, you could all get the same Star Wars X-Wing fighter. JCPenney's had a remote control Star Wars thing. You couldn't get that anywhere else. Montgomery Ward's might have like a inflatable R2-D2 that you could punch. But the Cabbage Patch Kid was everywhere. And I mean, it was at Kmart, it was at Target, it was at JCPenney, and it was, but it was also at True Value. I mean, it wasn't necessary. I mean, I remember there was a line outside of True Value in Ottumwa because they had a pallet of those things. I mean, they would show up at the craziest places, and there would be fist fights. Yeah. And it was the first time that I think I remember people kind of losing their shit on a Christmas gift.
It's like allocated bourbon, kind of, right? Like when people find out that it's at this,
little place that you wouldn't imagine
Kelowna,
it being.
Gas station, and the same deal.
Right.
Well, I mentioned this before we started.
Christmas gift you guys ever got? Can you name one like from like?
Well, for me it was that Death Star, that Star Wars. Yeah, I mean because that was the first year that you could get stuff. I'm not even 100% sure I asked for it just because it was so far out of my. Yeah, I just thought but that was definitely
Yeah, to me, the Intellivision game system was probably the high holy that was like unwrapped under the tree in the morning. Like, didn't expect to be able to get that.
Yeah,
and so that was probably the big one.
That console stereo that I referred to with everything that was a big gift. But probably the year that I had the best year, my Uncle Dean, who got me things that no one else would, he got me a Kiss. I think it was like Kiss Alive 2. Was that the album cover where Gene had the blood coming out of his mouth? It's like each member of Kiss on the front in this 4-panel thing.
Right.
And then on the back I had my name on the shirt.
Yeah.
But it was in rainbow, shiny rainbow letters. So I got that, and I got wrestling shoes. Mm-hmm. And there's a picture of me wearing the Kiss shirt with my first pair of like actual wrestling shoes. That Christmas was.
Yeah.
Oh,
I wish I still had that shirt.
That's a big score.
Our kids have no idea how cool it was to have your name on the back of a shirt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, that was so damn cool to have your parents give enough time, or uncle, aunt, or whoever, to like have your name heat pressed on the back.
And those shiny rainbow letters.
Dude,
was
that
a
was
thing. I totally remember those letters.
It's funny.
They weren't iridescent. What is I can't remember.
They were rubbery.
I mean,
they were, I don't know how to describe them, but they were like, almost like, what do you call it when you see when you see things at different angles?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to think of. It would be one color, but then you would like move, and it would be a totally different color.
Yeah. That was great shirt.
No, what I was going to say before you started that though, Black Friday, Cabbage Patch Kids. I was working a midnight shift. Thanksgiving night, 1996. Tickle Me Elmo. And
Jesus, yeah.
I was about 2 a.m. was our first call for a fight at Toys R Us at Westdale Mall. It was the worst night ever. You go into work on a Thanksgiving night thinking you're just going to, get through the night with no problems. And that was a disastrous night. One fight after another over Tickle Me Elmo.
Right.
Yep.
All right. Good pull, guys. Good show.
Good start for the holiday season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll wrap up some more holiday content as we go forward the next couple of weeks.
I like it. You want to do a little speed round?
Why not?
Wouldn't be a show without it.
All right. So in 1959, Barbie was released, and in 64, Hasbro released the original 6-inch G.I. Joe. Later on, releasing in 1982, the 3.75-inch version of the action figure. So today, we're going to talk action figures. I'm going to give you 5 stars or possible stars from our Gen X childhood, and you're going to tell me whether or not they were indeed or not made into an action figure.
All right, I like it.
All right. The first actor from our childhood, Dick Van Patten. Did they make an action figure of the Argyle-vested Dick Van Patten? The second star from our childhood, Gabe Kaplan. Gabe Kaplan was the poker playing actor, Mr. Carter.
Oh, okay, Cotter. Yeah,
I'm going to tell you something. Do yourself a favor,
Cotter,
and get on YouTube and search Gabe Kaplan Battle the Network Stars.
Oh yeah.
And thank me later. Go ahead and send
yeah.
DM I'm on our Facebook page.
I was a big Cotter guy.
Yeah.
I love
do you not know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't think I do.
Okay, do yourself a favor and do that. Battle of the Network stars Gabe Kaplan.
There's going to be like 4 videos pop up, and you're going to want to watch all 4 of them.
All of them,
yeah.
But you won't be disappointed.
No.
And you'll know which one I'm referring to when you see it.
Right.
Okay.
Right. They're all excellent. Yeah. Number 3rd person, Charlotte Ray, Mrs. Garrett from Mrs. Garrett.
Wait, we finished a sentence. Mrs. Garrett from what? That's kind of critical.
The Facts of Life.
Facts of Life.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Charlotte
Ray.
Or Different Strokes.
Actually,
Facts of Life is a spinoff of Different Strokes.
Right. Was it Mrs.
She was in both.
Yeah, she was in both.
Okay.
Yeah, she was Mrs. Garrett in both.
Yeah.
She left the Drummonds to go to the boarding school.
John Ritter. Did John Ritter have Jack as his character, Jack Tripper?
Three's Company. Hell
yeah. I was going to say only if it came with the other action figures to go with them.
And lastly, B. Arthur as Dorothy Zimborak from Golden Girls. Did she have an action figure?
Oh, I thought from Maude.
And then there's Maude. Yeah, well, I would allow that too.
Okay.
All right, here we go, boys. We're talking action figures in the speed round. John, did Dick Van Patten have an action figure made of him?
Yes, he did.
Brad?
I think so.
He did not. Not that
Damn it.
Oh, seriously? Because he
did.
played like MacArthur in a movie, didn't he?
Damn it.
I thought that's
yeah.
where you're going with it. I thought it was because he
Okay.
played
But that's
General.
good thinking. But I could
Dick
not
Van
find a
Patten.
Dick Van Patten action figure.
Okay, we're off to a bad start.
Next person, Gabe Kaplan as Welcome Back Carter.
Yes.
Yeah, there had to be a Cotter figure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So in
for
1973, Mattel released the Welcome Back Carter cast, including Horseshack, Freddie Boom Boom Washington,
Epstein's mother.
Epstein's mother.
Barbarino.
All right. Charlotte Ray from Facts of Life or Different Strokes. Did Charlotte Ray get an action figure with Kung Fu grip?
I'm a no on that one.
Yeah, I gotta go no on that.
She did not.
Okay.
She did not.
Thought you were gonna surprise us.
John Ritter as Jack Tripper. Did John Ritter get an action figure?
For fun, I said yes. But
I
it's
did
kind of
too.
ridiculous.
He did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just a Poonhound action
All
figure.
4.
Regal Beagle.
All 4 of it. So the
Was it Larry? What was the sidekick?
yeah.
Larry?
Yeah.
Yes. I can
Yeah.
see his face. I can't.
Had
Was
he,
his name
right?
Larry?
Was Larry
I mean,
his
that-
real name? Was it
Or was that the real name of the
Yeah.
actor?
There's
I don't
Mr.
know.
Roper.
Farley.
Farley?
Yeah, I mean,
Or Mr. Farley.
oh, both. It was a Roper and then a Farley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don Knotts was absolutely brilliant in that character.
He was fantastic.
Yeah. And
Suzanne Summers.
Suzanne.
And what was the other gal's name? Janet something? Or?
Yeah.
Janet was her name on the show.
Oh, okay.
But they all got
Yeah.
action figure
Oh, I
treatment.
would have taken a Janet action figure all day long.
Right. With Kung Fu grip.
I could have provided that. I just needed the action figure.
Put him.
And let's stay sexy, B. Arthur.
So I heard B. Arthur described once as more man than most men you know, but more woman than most women you know, which is a beautiful way to describe somebody. But I'm going to say no on her.
I was a no on her.
B. Arthur did get an action figure. made of her, yeah.
For which character?
It was Golden Girls. All the Golden Girls had action figures.
All
then.
right.
The one thing I always say about B. Arthur that I know about B. Arthur is a punchline. Yeah, but you can eat a leather shoe. All right, boys, you got all your systems?
I think we finished strong.
Yeah. Yeah. That does it.
All right, boys. Well, that was a nice walk down memory lane. Those catalogs are kind of fun
Oh,
to
yeah.
look back at. So,
Matter of fact, do you want this back tonight, or do you mind if I take it with me?
Yeah, you can take it
Okay.
with you. Yeah.
Yeah.
I assume that you're going to take it back for the lingerie stuff. So just know that that's one of my favorite catalogs.
Okay, I'll bring it back.
All right, maybe we could turn the lights off and finish up with a couple more
Please.
Prairie Fires. Boy, this was an odd show.
Yeah, it was a weird one, man. I think it's going to play great, though. Probably.
All right, everybody, join us on our deep dive pod group, and
Complaint letters can be sent to.
This is what happens. It's unscripted. Starts to no power.
if you have any Christmas catalogs you want us to review, please get hold of us and let us know. All right, we'll talk to you guys later.